Hi guys, my name is Sophia and today I'm going to be walking you through how you can create a ClickUp space. So just to give you a brief overview before we get started, your spaces are the second level of the ClickUp organizational hierarchy. So at the very top of your hierarchy, you have your teams level. Underneath your teams, you have your spaces. Underneath each space, you have projects. Underneath your projects, you have your different lists. And then finally, under lists, you have your tasks. So while your team represents your overarching organization, your spaces actually break down the different departments or focuses within that team organization. So for example, in this team, I'm using ClickUp to organize my business. So I've created spaces to manage each of my different departments within my business. Let's just jump right into actually creating a space. So if you come up to your spaces bar here, you can click this button. And right off the bat, you're going to have a couple of options. So I can create an entirely new space here, or I can click on templates. And if I've saved another space as a template to reuse that structure, I can access that right here. But for the sake of practice, let's just start creating an entirely new space. So let's say I want to do a content creation department space. So I have a few options here now. I can make this space public to everybody across my team, or I can make it private. And I can select the specific members of my team that I want to be able to access this space. Keep in mind that guests cannot be added to the space level. You can only share a space with normal members of your ClickUp team. Now you have the option to select your task statuses for this space. So you can think of statuses as the different phases of your task workflows within the space. Some people do like to go with the simple status option, and that means your tasks are going to be open or closed. So that means either done or not done. Very simple. Otherwise, you can actually create custom statuses for your workflow. So we do have a few template examples here that you can select. Or you can create your entirely new workflow here. So you can just type these in here. You can pretty much do anything you can imagine. And you can change the colors. You can also drag and drop statuses to rearrange them. And you can even save this workflow as a template if you want to reuse it at a later time. So let's click Done now and move on to the next step, which is your ClickApps. And these are the customizable options that you can implement at the space level. So for example, I can enable the multiple assignees ClickUp if I want to add multiple assignees for each of my tasks. Otherwise, I can unclick that to delegate my tasks to a single assignee. If I want to add start and or due dates to my tasks in this space, I need to make sure I've enabled the Dates ClickUp. If I want to add time tracking and time estimates to my tasks, those will also need to be enabled at the space level. Priorities will allow me to define the level of urgency for my task, so urgent, high, normal, or low. If you want to add tags, that's also a ClickUp. Custom fields are going to allow you to add custom columns for your tasks. So you can use these to measure a budget, client contact information, and so much more. Finally, you can actually enable the dependency warning ClickUp. And this is going to ensure that your tasks are done in the correct order. So if you have a task that is waiting on or blocking another task, this is going to pop up if you try to complete tasks in the wrong order. So it's a great way to make sure that your workflow stays in the correct order over time. Now we're ready to click Review Space, and we're ready to actually create the space. So now you're going to immediately be asked to create the project that's going to exist within my space. So let's say we're going to create a project called This Month's Content. and I'm going to use my lists to actually talk about the content I'm going to be using in this project. So I'm going to click on this little pencil icon here. Maybe I'm doing blog posts. So that's just a quick overview of how you can get started creating a space in ClickUp. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us at help@clickup.com.